Hey everyone, welcome back to Apollo Art Analysis. In today's episode, we're going to be studying a piece by the career 3D artist known as Gabrielle Salonga, and in this episode, we're going to be looking at the Dreamcore aesthetic. We're also going to explore the influence of Jared Pike's Pool series, so let's just jump right into it. So at first sight, we're instantly thrown within this massive and vast setting here. It's hard to say exactly where we are, but the eye is drawn down into the deep and dark abyss here. Of course, one of the first things I notice is our perspective here. We appear to be standing, looking over a ledge or even hovering and looking over this vast and even threatening abyss. Of course, the colors within this work we have is kind of pastel purple and we have blue from the pool over there. The combination of these two colors, they feel rather childish, quite light and delicate, maybe even fluffy, if you will. I think of kind of pink fluff, but pink and purple, these very light pastel tones, they feel quite childish in the final result. You may also notice, of course, these various arches here. They appear to go off into the distance. It's hard to say how far they go, but this does give a sense of rhythm to the work at hand. They also point to the grand sense of scale as they just repeat endlessly downwards. But like I said, this sense of rhythm here is pretty important. The eye is going to bounce from one to the other and even draws it farther down into the darkness. You may also notice, like I said, that sense of scale, right? The sense of size here. If we look at, say, the ladder here, you can imagine just how far down that goes, or even you can't imagine it. You wonder what exactly is down there. This is no doubt quite terrifying, as there is a lot of unknown in that deep, dark, and unsettling abyss. I wanted to ask you guys, how do you all feel when you view this composition, or what comes to mind when you're looking at this work? And whenever you talk about a work like this, we got to talk about the Dreamcore aesthetic, and the Dreamcore aesthetic is incredibly important nowadays. We've seen a lot of people look at it from a sense of nostalgia. It often incorporates, 80s, 90s, or even early 2000s scenes, and we often see a combination of that kind of liminal space, of course, a space of transition, alongside different unsettling scenes as well. The Dreamcore aesthetic is quite broad in that respect. The original artist also has another work. I'm going to bring this in real quick and see if we can learn a little bit more about the original artist and about the Dreamcore aesthetic as a whole. Alright, so I brought an additional work from the original artist Gabrielle Salonga. I studied this one earlier this year. This is entitled Playtime is Over, and much like the work we're studying today, you can see the eye is cast down into the deep, unsettling, and unknown abyss there. In the original work on the right, of course, you see the Dreamcore aesthetic represents itself primarily through these kind of old playhouses, right? That is the aesthetic of childhood, is the aesthetic of nostalgia in a way as well. But she takes us to an entirely new level, right? That sense of horror, or the sense of the unsettling, right? You can imagine, or it's even hard to imagine what lies at the bottom of that. But regardless, I just want to bring in this additional work to connect this to the work today. Of course, she deals with the Dreamcore aesthetic, but mostly in a much more dark and unsettling, a horrific context. So that's always important. Just want to bring that in and compare it to the original work today. We also see some influence from Jared Pike's Dreamcore series. This started in late December, but really it was last year when it took a massive foothold. We see a lot of people talking about liminal spaces and the Dreamcore aesthetic, and Jared Pike captures this so well. I actually don't have one of the Dreamcore works in here, but I'm going to show that on the screen real quick so you can see a reference of exactly what I'm talking about. This is going to be Jared Pike's Pool series. Alright, so that was Jared Pike's Pool series, and you can see it manifesting in this work not only through the pool, but this gradient tile, right? That certainly is the influence of Jared Pike's Pool series. Once again, it has influenced everything from the Dreamcore aesthetic to the movement of liminal spaces and people exploring those kind of unsettling, even abandoned places as well. And on that topic, you have this very empty composition, right? We don't see any people. There's no sign of life. Even these arches are strangely empty. It's not hard to imagine or wonder what exactly is going on here. There aren't any people. So we wonder where they are. Have they been killed? Or is it abandoned? Is this a dreamscape, if you will? The Dreamcore aesthetic often captures that quite well. But once again, there is this grand sense of scale, right? It just dwarfs us instantly. And with that ladder as context or reference, you can imagine just how large this space is. But there is that sense of loneliness, that unsettling within this work. It's just absolutely unknown. And there's a lot of weight to the composition as well, of course, due to the immense sense of scale. It'd be terrifying to fall down through something like this, and I almost don't want to imagine that. But regardless, it's a very stunning and scary and beautiful example of the Dreamcore aesthetic here. I actually have additional work from the original artist. I believe it is entitled Under the Arches. I'm studying this work today to go live. There we go. And so in both these references, you can see the blue and the pink. There's a lot more blue in the work on the right, but there is a sense of rhythm in both these compositions as well. Beautiful display of the Dreamcore aesthetic, and she does an amazing job of capturing that. There's almost this 80s retro, almost reminiscent of Hiroshi Nagai, a very good pop artist, but I just want to bring this in real quick to compare to the original work today. Both these works are by Gabrielle Salonga. She does an amazing job of capturing the Dreamcore aesthetic. So that's really all I have for today. Really hope y'all enjoyed. The original work here is quite realistic, right? This was due to the digital rendering medium of expression. The program used here is going to be Cinema 4D, truly an industry standard. A lot of professionals are using Cinema 4D, from Beeple to, yes, today, Gabrielle Salonga. Not Jared Pike. Jared Pike does use Blender, but there are a lot of really good artists who use Cinema 4D. So if you want to get involved in the world of 3D art, Blender and Cinema 4D are going to be two very good programs to really get involved and create your own, say, three-dimensional sculptures or three-dimensional environments. But like I said, I really hope you'll enjoy it today. We talked about so many different things, from this grand sense of scale, the unsettling nature of the abyss as the eye falls downward. We also talked this sense of visual rhythm within the work at hand. We talked about the inspiration and influence of Jared Pike's Dreampool series. We talked about the Dreamcore aesthetic as a source of both nostalgia, fear, and horror. Like I said, really hope you'll enjoy today. If y'all did, go check out the original artist Gabrielle Salonga doing some amazing stuff in the world of 3D art, as well as the Dreamcore aesthetic through the use of the digital render. Once again, y'all enjoyed, go check out the original artist Gabrielle Salonga. My name's Apollo. This was Apollo Art Analysis, and I'll see y'all on the next episode. We hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you'd like to support our work directly, please check out our Apollo community tokens. Apollo Art Exchange is an ecosystem of art appreciation which elevates artists each and every day. Thanks for listening.